Hello everyone, it is Abigail, and today I am going to be doing a follow-up to Matt's video where I show you my language bookshelf. I'd say my language book collection is a bit less impressive looking than Matt's. He definitely has a lot more books than me, but I am really happy with my collection, and I recently changed my bookshelf a little bit, so I thought now would be the perfect time to show you guys. Starting up here, we have all of my language learning notebooks. Some of these are for current projects, and some of them are older notebooks that I've maybe filled up or are for languages that I'm not currently studying. I thought about showing you all of my notebooks in this video as well, but I think I'm going to save that for a separate video just because I feel like that would take up a lot of time because I would like to get to flip through some of the notebooks and actually show them to you. I know a lot of people have asked us to make notebook videos, so don't worry, that will be coming very soon. On top of the notebooks, I also have this whiteboard, which hasn't been opened yet, but over winter break, I found that writing on whiteboards for doing exercises, practicing grammar is very helpful, and so I wanted to get something a little more portable than the giant whiteboard that I had, so I bought that. I just haven't gotten around to using it yet. Also on top, we have some smaller books, and then the main shelf houses most of my textbooks. So my smaller books up top can basically be divided into two sections. We've got books in other languages, and then phrase book type things. As you'll see, these aren't all of the books I have in languages, but they are the kind of novel-sized ones that fit on this top shelf. So to begin, we have some books in French, my favorite of them being this one. I just think that the cover is really pretty. I still need to read it. I haven't read The Hobbit or any of the other Lord of the Rings books in English either, so I'm excited to get to it in French. I have this book in Japanese, which I cannot read, but it is very, very beautiful, and I got it for really cheap at a library book sale, and someday I'm hoping that I'll be able to understand it. I also have this German book which Matt got me, and I'm excited to try and read soon, and Why We Should All Be Feminists, but in Spanish, because it's a very small book that I've wanted to read in English, so I figured I could go through it in Spanish and try and translate it. Then moving on to phrase book type things, we've got German idioms, German grammar, the Collins Gem German phrase book and dictionary, which I recently bought and I'm excited to try out, and then phrase books for Japanese, Greek, and Arabic. I do have a lot of language learning materials that seem very random and that I didn't necessarily buy. Every year my library has this thing where you donate books or movies or things that you don't want anymore, and then they sell them to earn profits for the library. On the last day of the sale, you can fill up a grocery bag and buy it for like $10–15, so basically I go and collect all of the language materials. And this year I didn't even go, my mom did, so there was no one being picky about languages specifically to me, and so that is where this came from. Also, I have this French dictionary I found in my basement. I don't know whose it was, but it's mine now. And travel flips, which are these really cool flashcards that come in this really nice leather pouch, and I have them for Spanish. I would definitely like to do a review of these at some point, so you can probably expect that at some point this summer. Moving down to the middle shelf on this bookcase, we have basically all of my language books. Here we have two travel books, I guess, but they're in German, English, and Slovenian. Again, these were from the library sale, so they're quite random, but I do want to go through them at some point and see how much of the German I can understand. In terms of Bulgarian 1, I'm definitely going to be buying the second one at some point. I think these are probably the best Bulgarian resource you will find. Here we have two Practice Makes Perfect books. They're basically study guides, but I really like the way they're laid out. I haven't done much in basic Japanese, so I can't say much about that, but French Problem Solver is one of my favorite French resources. It goes through hard grammar that you may have been doing wrong for a long time and have ingrained in you, and basically fixes that. Next to those, we have some Esperanto magazines, and also this coloring book that Matt got me of Germany. Schaum's German Grammar, German the Easy Way, a study guide for AP French Language and Culture, Spanish Made Simple, which I wouldn't recommend. I don't think I really recommend any of the books in this Made Simple series. I haven't used any of the others, but I can say from this one, it looks like you get a bit. This is a pretty thick book. It's pretty tall and long too. But the problem is that they don't give you much. They just spend a long time on each thing. So I'd say by the end you're probably only about an A1. Learn Arabic the Fast and Fun Way. I think this is a cute book series, but I know Matt used this for French and didn't love it. I haven't used the Arabic one because I decided to learn a different dialect of Arabic than this one, so I haven't used it at all yet. Learning Japanese Kanji Practice Book Volume 1. I am excited to try this out at some point. Chinesey and Chinesey Every Day, which are two very recent additions to my collection, and I'm very excited to own these. German Tutor and Enjoy German. This one's definitely great for brushing up grammar skills, and I think this one really has helped further my German, so I'd recommend both of these. Another Teach Yourself book, Perfect Your French. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it didn't really offer me very much, but I think maybe I was just a little bit beyond it. I bought it when I kind of discovered that I really liked the Teach Yourself series, so I decided I would try and use that to further my French, but I don't feel like it did a whole lot for me personally. Advanced French Grammar, also great, much like the French Problem Solver, but I definitely recommend French Problem Solver before I'd recommend this one. My French textbook from this year, which I actually would recommend, it also has a workbook, but that is with my professor right now, so I don't have that to show you. But overall, I think this is actually a very good textbook. It's entirely in French. It's more learning about the world just through French. Then we have some books that are just a little too tall to fit on that top shelf. So we've got The Legend of Sleepy Hollow in Esperanto, this book, which is like a tween book from France. I don't really know how much else to describe it. These two guides, which are to Boston and New York in Mandarin, just because I wanted to have them for when I learn Mandarin as reading materials. The Little Prince in Esperanto. I definitely want to collect The Little Prince in all of the languages that I speak, but so far this is the only one I own, even though I have read it in other languages. This is My Child, the 26 language dictionary. First German reader, which is technically Matt's, I'm just borrowing it. Colloquial Bulgarian, I've got mixed feelings about. Colloquial Spanish of Latin America, I've been enjoying so far, but I don't think I could really make a review about it currently. A Ukrainian phrase book and dictionary. This Franz Kafka book in Swedish again. German in Review, which is a textbook from the 40s, so I don't trust it to actually learn anything, but I do enjoy having it because it is a cool thing to have. This book and this book are both those books that are the real whatever language you were never taught in school. I have it for French and German, conveniently, even though they were both, again, from that library sale. A beginner's course to Polish, which also came from that library sale, but I'm extremely excited to use this at some point. Essential French Grammar. I liked this book, and I would definitely buy these for other languages. Complete German, this is essentially how I learned German, so thank you to this book. German Verbs, haven't used this much, but I found it for 25 cents on Amazon and was like, yep. A Japanese dictionary. Dirty Italian from the Polyglot Conference in 2015. A survival guide to ASL that features some beautiful 90s clothing. A Bulgarian practical dictionary, which I also got at the Polyglot Conference. Basically, I got, I think, a Welsh dictionary, and someone really wanted a Welsh dictionary, and so I managed to trade them for a Bulgarian dictionary, and this is pretty much how my whole Bulgarian studies began. And then a Pashto dictionary and phrase book. I do have other language resources that I don't necessarily keep on that shelf. For example, my DVDs are over where I keep my other DVDs. So here we have The Class, which is a French movie. I don't think it's called The Class in French, but that's what the case says, even though it is technically in French. Then we've got two Dora DVDs in French, again from the library sale. Alice in Wonderland, but it's not the Disney version. It's this strange knockoff Disney version. Heidi, also in French. Spanish version of Swiss Family Robinson, but as a cartoon, I think. And then this documentary, I believe, about the Berlin Wall in German. We've also got linguistic books just on normal bookshelves like Through the Language Glass, Fluent Forever, and Becoming Fluent. And also, this is a German poem that I read for a competition. And then the last of my books currently hanging out next to my bed because it's what I'm currently reading. We've got Babel No More. And I also own Fluent in 3 Months by Benny Lewis, but that is currently at Matt's house because I'm letting him read it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any book recommendations or have any opinions about any of the books that I have, please let me know. Bye guys!